Welcome back to Rhubarb Yoga. Another class, another day, another week. So today we're going to look at pranayama, or breathwork. Don't panic. You don't need to be able to turn yourself inside out to do any of this. The reason I'm sitting here in my t-shirt and my trousers is to show you do not need to sit in a stretchy pair of pants and a vest or a crop top to be able to execute any of these. The breath procedures I'm going to show you today are simple, not complicated, and you can do these anywhere, which is the whole point. Now, pranayama, meaning breath work, and prana actually means life force, which our breath is. Our breath keeps us strong, keeps us concentrated, it can calm us down, it can make us excited if we breathe in too quickly and too short, and we can cool ourselves down with our breath too. So our pranayama, our breath work today, are three separate styles. They are not distinctly complicated, they haven't got a fancy name, and you can do them anywhere, which is why I'm sitting on my meditation cushion. You can do this sitting in your chair, in your lounge. You can do this sitting in the bath if you need to, and that's the only place you're going to get peace today. You can do it in bed. You can either do it standing in the kitchen with the door shut or the kettle boils. So whenever you need a moment, and that's what these particular breathing exercises are going to show you today, is give yourself time and make sure you have that time. Don't allow distractions. That will change your breathing. Don't allow somebody to suddenly ask you something again, whether you are conscious of it or not. Your breath changes. Whatever situation we are in, our breath adapts to that particular challenge or situation, whether we actually choose it or not. Our breath is a completely unconscious way our body works, like walking and talking most of the time. So to be focused and concentrate on a particular type of breath means not only to control our body for those moments and take control, but also alter how we're changing and feeling at the moments where we think we need to bring in breath. So we've got three different styles. The first one is a very simple way of looking at how you breathe. Whether you think about it or not, when we breathe in and we breathe out, we don't even know we're doing it 99% of the time. So by just being conscious of your breath will alter how you breathe automatically. And if you want to enhance that, then some of these may give you increased benefits. By choosing to change our breath pattern, we can reoxygenate ourselves, which means we change the chemical balance of our blood, which reoxygenates our internal organs, including our brain. So how we cope in a situation can change from how we breathe in that situation. So the first one, you need these. One pair of hands. And in any shape or form, we should all have something like that to be able to do this. So I want you to place your hands on the front of your ribs so you can feel the curve, you can feel the V in between, but we're not looking at how we feel our ribs. We need to be aware they're there. And I want you to breathe in and feel the breath coming into the hands. So taking a breath in, and being conscious of how you breathe. Fill the front of the lungs up, and so we're filling the ribs up. And breathe into the hands and see how that feels. Steady and slow. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose if you can. If you're slightly bunged up or stuffy, through the mouth is perfectly fine, but keep the breath steady. By practicing that several times, you may feel that you suddenly feel you're breathing into a different part of the body that you're not conscious you're breathing into, but also you're forgetting the back. So I want you to turn your hands round and scoop them and place them on the back of the ribs. You don't have to be a great manipulator or incredibly contorted for this. Just place them where you can feel a bit of rib and maybe a little bit of the side, so you know where you are. Now I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about breathing in to the back of your ribs, into the back of your hands, and see if you can do that. It's not difficult. Create a picture of your hands, if that helps. Create a picture of the ribs and the lungs, breathing, and you may be surprised by what you discover. So take a breath in. And try that again. Now you may have discovered that your ribs spread as you breathe and they're opening up. That's the intercostal muscles that attach each rib to each other, the following one and the preceding one, and they're allowing that expansion to come in. But were you aware of the breath coming into the front of the body too, or just the back? And vice versa, did you feel the breath coming into the back of the body when you breathed in at the front? So we're now going to look at doing a complete breath, a whole breath, using that and imagining it. If it's easier to picture, close the eyes so we focus. We don't have a distraction. There's nothing waving at us while we're thinking of ourselves for a minute. So I want you to think of this flesh between the thumb and forefinger. I want you to place that on the side where the ribs are. So your fingers can touch the front of the ribs and your thumb can feel the back of the ribs. And as you breathe, I want you to be able to breathe front and back and sides all at once. So as you breathe, the breath comes at the side. So this is more of a side breath than a front breath or a back breath. It's side filling. So we're expanding the side of the body too. We're growing the sides of the body, not just the front or the back. This is not a separate part. This is all of us. We all have this area of our body, but we need to remember to breathe into it as well. Some of us are described as chest breathers or back breathers. But by creating a muscle memory of side breathing, we can create expansion and space in our body too. So if we feel tightness in our waist or a bit tight around the shoulders or the armpits are uncomfortable, by side breathing we can create space all along the vertebrae of the spine and opening up the ribs and allowing an extension from the lower torso up to the neck. So let's try that side breathing. Close the eyes if it helps. Breathe in. Now how did that feel? Did it feel different? Did it feel more complete? No change at all? Were you struggling in your mind to think, where do I breathe now? That is not something you need to worry about. By practicing this more, you'll be creating a more conscious breath, and by able to direct your breath or prana. Sometimes you can direct that particular breath to a part of the body that needs help, that needs softness, tenderness, and to let go, so we can move forward and just be nicer to ourselves. Now, strangely enough, people that breathe in their chest, by some are considered arrogant. Back breathers are considered cowardly and confident. And perhaps that's to do with the actual direction of the body as we breathe. So chest breathers sticking out the chest, projecting forward, and by back breathing we're curving over, breathing out through the back, we're hunching over, we haven't got confidence to look somebody in the eye. But by creating that side breath, that complete breath, we have a confidence to allow our shoulders to drop, our head to rise, our neck and throat to open and elongate, and be able to look someone right at them if we need to hold a conversation. But let's not worry too much about the internal politics of what people think. So looking at another breath, we're going to look at something called a ladder breath. Quite simply, we can picture the rungs of a ladder, or steps. And it's the breath in that we count and also the breath out. Now a ladder breath can vary depending on what you need from it. If you just want to establish a steady breathing pattern, a simple count that's even on inhale and exhale is absolutely perfect. If we need to calm down, we make our exhalation 1 or 2 longer. By creating a longer exhalation, we are expelling and detoxifying waste inside the body and relaxing and emptying ourselves at the same time. So we're softening and releasing. If we are energizing ourselves, perhaps our inhalation can be 1 or 2 longer. But let's not worry about that one at the moment. It's more about relaxing and softening and keeping balanced than being energized. There are more appropriate breath work for that at another time. So as you breathe, I want you to picture a ladder or a set of stairs. And you can do this by closing the eyes if you want. And as you breathe, I want you to count to the breath of 4. It's a very standard number that most people can reach, but if you do struggle, start with 2 or 3. So as we breathe in, we don't pause. We need to keep that breath fluid and easeful. So place the hands on the knees, in the lap, or on the belly, wherever you feel that your hands want to sit at the moment. So let's take a breath in, and we're going to breathe slowly and keep the pace even and flowing. Inhale and exhale. So we're going to breathe for the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to try that again. Now it's not where the breath stops in the body. It's the steps of the ladder or the stairs that we're climbing to enable that breath. So try it again and try and count in the head or count on the fingers. That can sometimes help. So you're not saying it and causing your breath to pause. So try again and try internally. After you tried once or twice, I want to think about the pause between the inhalation and the exhalation. So as you get to the 4 count, or 3, or 2, try and pause just for a moment. And then exhale. What it does is it creates a point of pause. Our body isn't instantly going, right, breathe out, because that's not the point. The point is to breathe in and breathe out easily. And by creating that pause and break, we're taking our valuable oxygen and nutrients in from our inhalation. And we're allowing the brain to steady and flow before we breathe out. So try one more time and try that small pause. It doesn't have to be a gulp. Please don't allow it to be a big pause. It can take time to get used to this particular style of breath. And by panicking or creating too long a stepping process, you can actually over-oxygenate yourself and create hyperventilation, which is definitely not what we're working to. So try one more time and aim for the pause. Count on your fingers, count in your mind, count however you wish. And how did that feel? By developing this step of breathing and with a small pause, this may further develop into something called box breathing, where we pause at the beginning before our inhalation, we take our inhalation, we pause after, and then we exhale again and pause. So we're doing 4 sides or 4 parts. And that in itself creates a lovely, supportive breath network. If you feel that you need to relax more often, that you're becoming tight or even at night to help you sleep. The longer exhalation really can do wonders for you. So if you want to try that in bed, lying on your back, do your count of 3 or 4. Don't have to pause if you're really not able to do that, or you haven't quite mastered it or feel comfortable with it. And as you breathe out, I want you to add another 2 to the breath count exhalation. And by doing that, you are de-junking everything. And with that extra 2 counts, the muscles will soften further. The arms will release and the shoulders will drop. Your diaphragm will soften. And your stomach can relax too. So by trying those, you can create not only an incredible amount of healthy, vital oxygen coming back into the body, which we may not be aware we're not actually giving ourselves a great deal of on occasion, but you're also giving yourself a skill to cope. By doing a ladder breath, it is an extremely good stress breath technique. Fantastic for anxiety or anxious moments. And we'd all be fibbing if we said we hadn't had one of those, particularly recently. By creating the complete side breath, you may feel, if you practice that more often, that your breath is becoming bigger, deeper, more spacious. It's not a competition about how high can I breathe. The peak of our lungs come right under our collarbones. It's not about reaching to that very far corner of the lung. It's about creating and expanding the muscles which our lungs and our diaphragm are, and exercising them to the best of your physical possibility without expansion, competition and ego reaching it. Breath should not be a competition. I want you to see how you feel. Enjoy the pranayama. It's there. It's easy. And don't forget, by applying these to your daily work, you are feeding your life force, your prana, and you. Enjoy the sunshine when you see it. Have the best of days. Be happy. Namaste.